Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. This week, I'm going to be making garden boxes out of used pallets. Okay. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is round up a half dozen to a dozen pallets. You'd be surprised how easy that is once you sort of start keeping an eye out. I've already done that, and once I had the pallets, I wanted to rip just the inside of the pallets. I don't want to deal with prying up nails or using a Sawzall to cut away the nails. All I need is like the useful bit of wood. And then this is what you're left with. But this needs to be squared up. So I set up a jig on my chop saw and just quickly buzz the ends so that they are in fact square. That squareness is going to come in handy when we put a straight edge for us to butt everything up against. My table here is 4 feet, so I know that I want to do a 4-foot panel because the box, in fact, I'm going to do 4 foot by 2 foot. I think this is the perfect size for gardening because then you're not reaching through, you're not stepping into the mud. You can actually just access everything from just walking around it. And also, it looks really neat when the garden boxes are all lined up in rows. Before I do anything else, I have to say that I had some old scrap 2x4, and I've ripped these down to 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to use this as the strapping to support this panel, sort of bind it all together. What you need to remember, though, is that because this is sort of brittle pallet wood, and this is an old 2x4, you're going to want to pre-drill your screw holes, because if you don't, you're liable to get splitting, and then that wood just goes to waste, and it defeats the purpose of trying to do this in a frugal fashion. I leave a 2.5 inch gap on either end of the panel, and then that'll come in handy for when I actually need to join all the panels together, because I'll use 2x4 that'll slot right in there, and then that'll become the bracing that the other panels are screwed to. Okay, so there it is. That's the panel. Now I'll just make the 2-footers. There it is. These are the 2 ends. That was definitely a nicer looking pallet. And we've got the 2 4-foot sections. Now to put all of those together to create the garden box. So the reason that I need to build these garden boxes is because last fall I planted garlic in what was the tomato bed. As you can see, I grew way too many tomatoes last year and they were a bit crowded, so the yield I think was affected. In late October, I planted organic garlic from Bethesda Gardens, which is where I get all my seedlings from. And this is what it looks like right now. I'm not going to harvest this until late July, and I can't even believe the size of the stalks on these. Look at it. This is crazy. I can't even wait to taste this garlic. I use garlic in everything, and I'm very pumped to try my very own garlic. Again, I've got some scrap that I've ripped down on the table saw. Can't remember what size I did them at. 1.5 inches. And what these will do, I'll cut these down right now on the chop saw. These are going to get fastened to the back side of this, the inside of this rather, and then that'll be used as the bracing for the 4-foot section. So again, because we're dealing with the pallet wood, I'm going to pre-drill all my screw holes before I screw into the wood. And then I'm going to repeat that both sides for each of the 2-foot sections. And then we'll fasten these to the 4-foot section. I said I wasn't going to turn this into like a tutorial, but you can't half show what you're doing. So I guess this is a tutorial. I've got the 2-footers down here. This isn't graceful. That's probably why I'm not showing it on camera as well as I could be. But essentially I need to just create a tabletop with these pieces. There. Did you see that? So here's what I've done. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drill into there and screw it together. Same on that side. And then I'll flip it over and put the top on and do the same thing. I can't hold the camera and flip this at the same time, so this is what it's going to be. Flip it like this. And we'll pop this one on top. Look at that. Of course, we're dealing with pallets, so it's not going to be perfectly square, as even though we made up those square edges. That's neither here nor there, no. I guess, you know, if it holds dirt, wicked. And the same on this side. There it is. Garden box. But we're not quite done. You can see it's a little wobbly. The structural integrity can be stiffened up, and I'm going to do it with this. This is a cedar 2x4. This is worth $8,000 today. But it is expensive. It's like 20 bucks a 2x4. I did not pay that much for it. I got this last summer when I was building something when lumber was not outrageously expensive. But I have it, and it's just a single, and I can't really use it for anything else. So I'm going to rip it down on the table saw, and then we'll make a nice edge that we can finish this with, and it'll strengthen it up and make it look even nicer. This is cedar. It smells so good. So I'm going to cut these to length and then fasten them onto the top. That'll help stiffen them up and give them a really nice look. Through the magic of TV, I now have two. I just work that fast. This one has been applied with a coat of linseed oil, but I've run out of linseed oil, and you need to book an appointment with someone to talk to someone to order some linseed, and then you need to pick it up a week later. So I couldn't get any today, but I will put a coat of linseed oil on this just to protect it against the elements. So anyway, that's the garden box out of pallets. I'm going to try to build at least another 2, maybe 4 more, depending on how many pallets I can round up. One will be for tomatoes, one will be for hot peppers, but then I've got a bed that's available for cucumbers, and I think I got a bunch of other stuff. I might need 2 just for tomatoes, because I did saucing tomatoes, and then I did like cherry tomatoes and toasted tomato sandwich tomatoes, which, favorite thing on earth. If anyone enjoys them as much as me, this is a standing invitation to come by when the harvest is ready for a toasted tomato. All right, I think that's it for this week. We didn't make art, but we made garden boxes. All right, I'll see you again.